What's up, Orcamaniacs, and welcome to Dubl Drbl episode number, what are we now, 25, I believe it is. This episode is going to be entitled Back at the Beach. We had Ballin' at the Beach last week, back at the beach this week. We're going to cover all things VBL. We were there. Doc was in it, literally in it, and she's got some fun stories that she's probably going to talk about. George got some amazing footage. G and myself got some good interviews, and Coach, we even got some pictures of you with that argument that we're going to talk about. That was controversial. We'll get into that as well. All things VBL. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I just want to give introduction. We got my dude George over here to the side of me, George Ochola. We got Big G down there in the corner. We got the coach sporting the Oxnard Orcas polo, which I really like and want. And we got the woman who was in the game, Doc Shireen Toscano, is hanging out with us as well. So what's up, everybody?
Hey.
What's good? What's happening?
Where do we even start, you guys? Like, honestly, I had never been to a beach event like that. And I don't know about you, besides Doc being actually there playing and coaching. I enjoyed it. It felt like it was more intimate. Like, you were, like, right there, you know? And even if you, like you with your footage, George, you were right there. You know, and the VBL cameraman literally was right there on the court. That guy almost got ran over at least 6 or 7 times. It was insane. I enjoyed the tournament personally, but who cares what I said? I'm not the one that was on the court. Let's talk to Doc first. Doc, how did you feel going into the VBL as a player?
Oh, honestly, like, you know, I don't mind saying how I truly felt, and I don't want to like have a big ego or anything. I was super nervous, like really nervous, and I was thinking like, am I ready for this, you know? And I texted Drewski and I was like, hey, I'm really nervous, like I'm really excited, but I'm really nervous. And he was like, it's just like any other game. And as soon as he said that, I was like, oh well, yeah, it's just like any other game, yeah. But I felt so happy and so like honored to be there because I've wanted to play there for so long, and I was just grateful to coach to give me the opportunity. So hopefully, you know, like I can contribute a lot more this week and moving forward. So I'm excited.
Yep. So you're going to be trying to play this weekend as well?
Yeah.
Cool. You know, we have the event. It's down in Long Beach. If you guys want to know about it, hit up anybody on this panel. And we'll let you know if you want to go down there. And Coach, it's a tryout, you said? It's a tryout for the tournament? Or what exactly is this that we're going to on Sunday?
Well, they have an open team. So that I think they're one team short, I would assume. So Nick is the head of the VBL is running open tryouts. So you pay $25, you get a jersey, and you get to try out to be on the team that plays the first game, which is Hoop Stars, I think. Mm-hmm. That's the name. But they get to play against Kenny's squad first game. Okay. And the winner of that game will actually play us, assuming we would win, which we should. But yeah, it's a cool opportunity for guys that didn't get picked up from a team or found about too late, or they just don't out and want to get picked up. So that's how we met Kenny in the first place. He tried out for the VBL, and he was my draft pick. So it's a good opportunity for people.
Yeah, and like you said, you never know who you're going to run into. You never know what you're going to see. So that'll be pretty cool. Personally, I thought it was really cool that there was people on different teams. You know, Measy was on his own team. We got to see Zach again. We haven't seen Zach in a while, and he was on fire. There's no other way to put it. He and Kenny were absolutely amazing. And the fact I was waiting. You could tell George, I was itching to run to the court after Zach, you know, got the championship victory. Like, I was ready for that interview. And the fact that I didn't get it, I was so bummed. But those games were so awesome. And a lot of them had some controversy. I'm just saying. Coach, your guys' game, I mean, a lot of people don't understand what an ISO card is. Could you, I know we kind of talked about it this week. Could you possibly explain what happened and then what an ISO card is?
So the VBL does stuff different. It's more street ball-ish. So the ISO card is something they add to put some excitement on it. We gave it to Drew. He was the only guy in the squad that we would want to give it to on. And so in sudden death, he pulled it out. He had Garrett on him, Dream Chaser, who's one of our guys also. So he's a good defender, but Drew's, stronger than him. So he backed him all the way in. And the rule with the ISO card is you can't help, you can't double, you can't do anything for 10 seconds. So it was just one-on-one. And as soon as Drew got Garrett on his back hip in the lane, Hitman, who's 6'9", came over and doubled. And Drew picked up his dribble, and, we gave up in lucky bucket going the other way. And game over. So they were supposed to stop the play and give us the ISO back, but they didn't.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. And the thing that bothered me was I get that these referees refereed literally every game in that tournament, but they knew that they were wrong and they wouldn't go back on it. I mean, you were arguing for a good couple minutes. I was watching you, and he knew he was wrong and they didn't go back on it.
Well, I knew they weren't going to go back on it, but I was trying to prove a point. Like, hey, I didn't want this to happen to anybody else's squad. I didn't want anybody to lose because they didn't get the opportunity to do what they're supposed to do. And we didn't get the opportunity. Drew had the dude on his back hip. He most likely would have made that bucket. No help. But Drew, it was a good learning experience for Drew because even with the help, he should have kept his dribble and swung the ball through, did a swing through move, and he would have had a layup anyways or a foul, even with the help. So it was a good learning experience for Drew, not just in the BBL tournament, but in his games when he's playing pro. A big's going to double him to what to do. So, it works out, and Drew will be better this week. He's already motivated, and with Buddha's injury, this is Drew's team for the first time ever. It's Drew's team. Buddha's going to play, but Buddha's not going to be the same as he's always been.
Speaking about Buddha, it looked like out there like he didn't want to coach.
Oh, man.
But he was coaching.
I told you last week.
Funny.
Buddha is going to be a coach when he's done playing. I don't.
So funny.
Whatever he wants. He's going to be coaching with me. And
Deep down,
he's going to be coaching our AAU squad also. So, I don't care what Buddha says.
No,
he's going to be a coach.
G's right. I mean, Buddha was in their faces. He was, he was sitting off on the beach for the other games, but for the P4E game, he was right there. He was in their faces. He called the huddle. Like, he did everything that he said he didn't want to do. And I think G was next to me because we were ready for our interviews. And man, we were just laughing on the side. We're like, didn't he say he didn't want to do any of this? And yet he's killing it by pulling them together and, trying to overcome what's going on. And, it was pretty cool. So maybe that'll show him a little motivation. Maybe go the other way. Who knows? Never know with Buddha. Just saying. So, and then unfortunately we took another L in the second game, which unfortunately I missed. We're not going there, Gilbert. But some craziness happened in that game too. Doc, you want to let us know what went down in that game?
So they were running a pick and roll, and Beast, you saw him. I even know how tall he is, but he's probably like over 300 pounds for sure. And he's about the width of two people. He set a screen on me, which I didn't know was coming. So I just essentially just ran into a wall, and then he hooked me with his arm, and it was already difficult enough to get around such a big body. But him holding me and moving, so he's like setting a moving pick really, but it doesn't really show like that because he outweighs me so much. It just looks like he's moving in his space, right? But I can't get around him. And so they passed the ball to Stefania, the girl that I was guarding. And then whoever was guarding Beast, I can't remember who was guarding Beast, but he had to jump up and guard Stefania so she wouldn't score. And then I was left alone guarding Beast, right? So I had to do what I had to do. Like I said, no easy buckets. Like, what am I supposed to do? I had to just foul him and try whatever I could for him not to score. So
Yeah.
I ended up at one point like riding the bull, and it's all good. Like I had to do what I had to do. That's it.
Exactly. Like you guys are saying, it's pretty much street ball. It's pretty much what it is. Street ball on the beach, right? You know,
Yeah.
pretty crazy. So like I said earlier, unfortunately you guys took the L in the 2 games. Did
Yeah.
you I didn't get back until a little bit after that. Did you leave right after that second game, or did you stick around for a couple after that?
No, I left.
You left? Okay.
Yeah, I left. Yeah, my kids were already ready to go. So they'd been
Hey,
there the
shout out
whole
to your-
day, very
shout out-
patient and loving.
Shout out to your daughters for sticking around as long as they did.
Thank
You know.
you. Yes.
Well, Coach, I want to come to you for this one. Watching all your guys, we talked about this in the interview a little bit, which you guys can catch on YouTube, on our YouTube page, Oxnard Orcas Media. Check it out, please. You can, what did you say? You said we were talking about different players. We had Zach on a different team, Measy on a different team. We had Kenny killing it with those sparkly shorts on his team, you know, and we talked about how did you feel seeing all your boys on different teams displaying their skills?
It's just really cool to see the guys in general and be around the guys, and not just talk to them on text or FaceTime or social media.
Sorry about that, guys.
There's a lot more guys than just the Orcas. We're connected to a lot more guys, you know, like Ben, Gerard, who played Z, and Ryan Nitz, and a lot of the guys out there. Just to see them doing well and doing the thing that, you know, keeps them calm. You know, it's like Mark said it. Mark was able to jump on Mizzy's team. It was just really good to see the guys ball. And, you know, some guys are designed to play in the VBL. Some guys aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny is one guy that's designed to play. He's designed in the open floor and open court, and that's his game.
Yeah.
He struggled in the half court before. That's one thing that he'll work on before the Orcas tryout. But in the VBL style, you know, he'll kill it. I think last season he averaged like 35 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's his game. You know, and he caught a body, so he made somebody sit down.
Yeah, that was cool. Can you explain what that means? I thought that was super cool, by the way.
Catching a body is just dunking on somebody. So in VBL, when you dunk on somebody, you got to sit for 2 minutes, regardless of what the score is. So, you know, Kenny caught one. Adam got he should have made both guys sit down, but Chris Staples, you know, the top 3 dunker in the world, he caught a body. He catches bodies everywhere, but Chris could actually play, you know, for a dunker. But yeah, he's top 3 legit, NBA or not.
Yeah. Adam, but I for dunk of the day, I swear to God, Adam's flash, that dunk was a poster. Just straight posterized dunk. I mean, G was dying. When he saw those. It was insane. And George was on the camera screaming. It was so funny, you know. But it was so cool to see them, and just think about, minus Zach, unfortunately. Think about that. All these guys are going to be on the same team. We're going to kill it. Gee, you were fanboying over Kenny. Talk a little bit about what you saw with Kenny.
Well, that's what I was talking about, Coach. When we're there, man, I was like, Coach, all these guys are gonna be playing on the team. How you gonna do it, man? But yeah, it was when I saw Kenny, he was just balling out. I didn't even know Kenny had that in him where he made it, where he did that dunk. I was like, wow. It was just great to see all that going down, bro. Especially Kenny and Measy going at it.
Oh, that was cool.
That was great too. It was fun, man. That was fun to see.
Yeah. What about Flash, when you saw Flash posterize?
That was nice too. That was nice. The interview that I had with Flash, man, was crazy, man. Flash, well, he was really disappointed about the whole situation of how the game turned out, man. But it was great, man. It was great. Never been to a VBO.
It's okay though, because the way that he held himself during that interview, which you can check again on YouTube, he sounded like, okay, I'm gonna be humble, I'm gonna be cool. You can hear in his voice how pissed off he was, though.
Yeah,
Like you
can
can
tell.
feel it, you know. And when I interviewed Coach and I interviewed a couple other players, same thing, which is totally understandable. You know, you interviewed Doc, I believe it was too, after the game, and you guys got robbed. There's no other way to put it. I'll go to you in a minute, Doc, but you guys got robbed, and a majority of you held your head really, like did really well. But you know, me, I have a horrible temper. So if that happened to me, I would have been up in somebody's face. So I commend all your players. I commend you for keeping your cool during something where you guys absolutely 1000% got screwed. Go ahead, G, and then I'll go to Doc.
Yeah, at first we both didn't know what was going on because we saw Drewski pull out the card and we're like, oh, what is this? But then once Coach gave us the info and told us how the whole situation was supposed to go down, then we understood why you guys felt the way you guys felt.
Yeah.
And then so it was so different just seeing how everything played out and the rules of the VBL. But now we know for next year. Can't wait to see how next year plays out, and hopefully Buddha is healthy by next year so he can play too.
Well, Buddha's playing tomorrow.
You mean tomorrow?
Yeah, Buddha's playing tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah, you mean tomorrow? I was like, what?
Buddha's playing tomorrow.
I thought he was gonna be out for like a while.
No, he's playing tomorrorow. Coach has
Didn't
got
he say he was
something.
gonna be out for like a good while? Like 3 or 4 weeks?
It's Buddha, bro. It's Buddha. Come on now. Go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
GA, you be on some George stuff right now, not paying attention to messages. Because it was said in the messages that Buddha's playing.
I guess.
Make sure you see it.
You know,
I didn't see it.
You know you don't pay attention to 90% of the messages. But
Hey,
yeah, Buddha's going to be playing. He played yesterday with Adam. They got some money. They played in some money game. I don't know where, but
Hey.
There you go.
And they got some cash. And so Buddha's going to be playing. He looked good. He hit a pull up and a post move. So Buddha does what Buddha does, and
we need a shirt that says that.
And he's really important for that first game with Los Fearless. It's a team that the Beast played on, and the Doc's gonna have another chance at the Beast. They have a lot of big players. You know, even their guards are big. You know, 50 is a pro, one of the best shooters around, and he's a football player that turned into a basketball player.
Okay.
And they have Rocket, who's another beast. So they have guys that are big, and they're the only team that's really bigger than us and stronger than us at the guard position, especially. So Buddha's really key in that.
We'll see. Well, it's going to be exciting. I'm excited to see him on the court again. I haven't seen him in a while, so it's going to be exciting. G, you had one more thing, and then maybe we'll go to George.
Yeah, just throw it out there. He was really upset that he wasn't able to play last week. I had a chance to talk to him about it, and yeah, he's just upset about the whole situation. But it's glad to see that he's gonna be playing. So we'll see how that plays out for him.
Absolutely, George. You were all over the place. You were our main camera guy. You know, you're catching literally everything. What is some cool stuff you saw? What's some things you'll remember? And how did you feel when we got screwed?
Well, I think to answer your question, Ricky, yeah, they really got screwed. Like if I was one of the players on the team, I would have got a technical foul on that card thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes, like what Doc said, they should have won. They had a chance to win. Like I'm not gonna say they will win, but they had a chance to win. Like I'm just speaking like media correctly, but you already know how it is though. But yeah. It was pretty cool. Like what I would remember from it is like the dunk highlights, like one of the dunks from Kenny and Flash. Like, you know, they're great athletic players. And then the fact that like not only I saw our Orcas team, but I saw like people I haven't seen in a while too. So it was a great atmosphere. I was reuniting with certain players that were over there. So it was a pretty good event. I really liked it, and I was glad to be there to capture that moment.
I agree. I mean, minus some of the lyrics and some of the songs, wearing a mask, it's very family friendly. My son was there. You know, definitely they can, you know, play as long as they're not jumping on the court like that dog. You know, you're all good. I think Doc had her. Did you have your hand up, Doc? No?
Yeah, no. I just wanted to comment on the whole ISO card thing.
Go ahead.
Like, So you know Mike, the ref,
Mhm.
like he's hilarious, right? He would ref the loot all the time. So he refed a bunch of my games before, and he said that the guys were complaining and they were saying she should just stay with her girl. Like, why is she even trying to guard this guy? Like, she should just stay with her girl. And he was like, you obviously don't know her. Like, you obviously have never seen her. Like she's used to playing with guys. Don't worry about it, you know? But
Mhm.
obviously it's a complete mismatch. Like, I didn't want to guard him. But when the reason why I was just saying that is just so you could have like a view of like the relationship that I have with Mike, the ref, right? So when they won, when they said that the other team won, and I went up to Mike and I was like, hey, like what happened? He was like, look, I didn't see it. Apparently they saw it, but I didn't see the card. I didn't see him throw the card. So I think that it's wrong, and I think that we should redo it. But at the end of the day, we've already moved on. We're already behind schedule as it is.
Mhm.
Nico's not going to redo it. Like, nobody's going to redo it. But I agree that and I told the other refs that you guys dropped the ball and that it completely changed the outcome of the game because of that. So I think they're going to be a lot more aware of that this week or tomorrow. But I thought it was also hilarious that the VBL posted a picture of Drewski holding up the ISO
Right?
card.
I
Right?
saw that.
Plain as
That was pretty
day.
funny.
Plain as day.
Yeah.
Risky's not a small guy. You know, he was like by himself, hanging the card like this. Like it was completely obvious. So I mean, refs are human too, but they really, like you said, they dropped the ball on this one. George.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I do have that 2-minute report on my camera. So if the ref thinks they're wrong, like, watch the tape. They'll see what they mess up on.
Got the
So I
evidence.
recorded
Got the-
literally like everything.
You
I got
the footage.
evidence. Proof is in the pudding.
Got the footage.
But at the end of the day, like, the show must go on, and we got to keep it moving. So we can talk about it, but we can't dwell on it because it's in the past, and we're moving to the next play. You know, even within the game, something happens that we don't like, we have to forget about it and keep moving and play as if like that didn't really, like, not dwell on anything and not let something, a mistake or whatever, hold you back to the next play even. You know, we have to just keep it moving and go hard the next game. So I know we're talking about it now in the show, but guaranteed, like, Coach and I, like, I'm sure Coach is not even like thinking about that anymore. Like, we're moving on to the next. Like, it's done.
And with that
He's
said,
cool with
Coach, do you think this, even just this little thing that happened, will it motivate some of the guys to play harder or maybe pay attention to more detail tomorrow?
I think the people that the couple players like Yuri and Percy who've never played the VBL, they're gonna, now they know what to expect, because Percy took a while until the second game and started going. Yuri didn't really get a good feel at all. Part of it was playing time, but part of it was just not knowing where to fit in. First time playing with these guys as a whole, but so they'll be ready, tomorrow. But for Buddha, Adam, and Drew especially, it doesn't take much for them to get motivated. They already know what VBL has done to our teams. It's not the first time. Last season, we were the number 1 seed going to the playoffs, and then they allowed the team to bring in 3 more pros, and we got knocked off. But the biggest thing that we talk about is that other teams can do whatever they want. Cheat, whatever that is. How Joyce said in the last show that we just got done. But if we play our game, no one's going to beat us. And if we play the way we're supposed to, no one's going to beat us. So, in the end, it's on us. Even the playoff game last year, if we would have shot well, shot like we normally do, we still would have beat them with those pros because we play the team than other squads. So it's on us. no matter what they do, if we do the things we're supposed to, rebound and play defense, we're going to win.
Yeah. I personally, I enjoyed the event itself. It was something new for me. I've seen indoor tournaments and stuff, but I've never been to a VBL. Is it always like rules wise? I know you said there was some rule issues with the fouls. We'll get to that in a sec. Is it always like lackadaisical where they can just change it like that quick on the spot?
This is a little bit different because it's a tourney, not a league, but
Okay.
this was the ref better than most of their league games. Sometimes in their league games, they have a dude, Trappy, who's a player who's high most of the time. He's a dope dude. He's really cool, but he's high 90% of the time. And he's running around, if a dunk goes on, he forgets to call the game because he's getting caught up. And, but it's that kind of atmosphere. So that going into it, you know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't get mad at, things not being called. I got upset about the foul thing because that's something they were adamant about in the meeting beforehand, that it was going to be 3 fouls and not 4. And then when I found out after the game that they were doing 4, it cost us. It hurt us a lot because I had to sit Drew for, when they went on their run.
Yeah.
And that affected us more than the ISO play. The ISO play would have never came into play if Drew didn't have to sit.
True.
It would have already been up because we had the momentum. We were going to take momentum, and we outplayed them for 90% of that game.
Mm-hmm.
They got the lead when Drew had to sit. So that was more upset. And, I had a good discussion with the table, and it wasn't the table's fault because they were told 4, but other people said 3. And then the rest of after our game, they played 3 the rest of the day.
Really?
It is what it is. But we know what to expect. The guys know that they're not going to give us anything. We just got to go and take it. And, Drew and Adam and Buddha are ready and motivated, and I know the rest of the guys are. And Doc. Don't want to leave Doc.
Hey, she's jumping in there. That's right. She ain't going to tackle no one like George, though, so we're all good. Right, George? Is that your thing?
Yeah, sure, Ricky. Sure,
See, he
Ricky.
admits it. We're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm even carbing up.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make sure you get some weights in too, Doc. But I know you're gonna be ready for tomorrow.
Wow, he
Go
threw
ahead.
that out there.
George is just playing nice. He wants to make another video of something.
The viral video.
Even though I wish there was a video of you taking down the girl.
You got to find that.
That'd be amazing.
Someone has to have that. somewhere.
That's because it never happened.
Right.
We're moving on.
Yes.
We're moving on to this week, to tomorrow. You're living in the past, George.
Damn, burn.
Dang. Okay.
And it begins. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. George, you and I sticked around. Well, we left, so that doesn't count. Well, I left, so that doesn't count. But we stuck around for the end. Meezy's team made it pretty far. Meezy, he went in, and he told me himself that he felt not weak, like tired weak, but he felt weak on the court. Like he could have been a lot better. Coach, I don't know if you watched Meezy's game or not, his first couple games. He said he started off really weak, but then when he came into the quarterfinals, he was just a hard ass. He was just spot on, strong, taking control. Is that normal for Meezy? Do you think that's normal for him?
Well, Mizzy is often his worst critic, and I've had a lot of talks to him. He's way too hard on himself, and the only thing I tell him is that the first couple of games he played like he does sometimes with us, and he's too passive.
Mm-hmm.
He lets other people go at it, and for Mizzy to be everything he could be, he has to be aggressive, and it gets him in the play. It gets him more motivated. Mizzy is well known for his chase down blocks, right? Like Bond. Even though he's 6'3", maybe max, Mizzy led our league in blocks 2 seasons.
Okay.
So, like it gets him going. When he's aggressive offensively, his defense just goes up to another level.
Yeah.
And that squad, there's only a couple guys that can really get their own bucket. So he has to be aggressive on that team. And then you saw what the difference, they're playing better when he was more aggressive.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because that's exactly what he told me in the interview. He said, "Yeah, I wasn't on my game. Coach said I needed to be more aggressive." And he did. He came at quarterfinals. He was really aggressive, like what I'm used to, seeing from him or what I've heard about from him. And then they made it to the quarters, I believe it was. I think he ran into Zach's team, if I remember correctly. Zach was insane. Like,
I think
I don't think he
has
had one bad game. Even the championship, not one bad game. George, from what you saw of Zach, what can you say, man? He was insane.
Man, he was all over the place. He was all over the court. He was scoring at will. He was getting all these breakouts. Like he was getting like I believe he had at least 3 lobs thrown to him. Yeah, he was on his game. So he played like he wanted to win. And that's what I like about Zach. Like Zach, like no matter what, he's always moving on to the next play. I think there's been a couple times where a dude that he was guarding saying like, "Oh, like Zach, that dude can't guard me," and then like Zach didn't like talk smack because like the thing I like about Zach is he lets his game do the speaking. Like he's hardly talking. Like he's only talking on defense, but that's the only thing. Like when I say talking, I'm communicating with his players on defense, and that's what I like about Zach, and that's who I admire. And if anybody could be on my team, Zach will be one of the guys that I would love to bring on my team.
With that said, he is now a member of the Chula Vista Suns. Does that make you nervous going up against him in 2021?
Yes, it does, because like I know how much of a caliber player he is, because he could run the ball, he could rim run, and not only that, he could actually shoot the ball from the perimeter, which makes him even more dangerous. So if anybody's guarding him, that's just nightmares for the other opposing team.
I have a question for Coach. This just came to my head right now. So the fact that we're not playing this season, I don't know how like trades work in the ABA. I don't know how any of that works. Would you even think about possibly going after Zach for the 2021 season? And if so, how would that work?
Well, there's no trades. He's just signed for one season.
Okay.
I'm almost positive he's signed for one. Most teams only sign for 1 year's contracts.
Okay.
So next season, he already knows. I want him. There's another guy in the Suns that probably will be playing with us. Daff.
Okay.
He's another guy that you guys will love. But we'll see. If he has a great season with the Suns, he may want to stick with them. It'd be up to Zach. He'll have a spot with us if he wants it.
Awesome. Yeah.
So it all depends how his season goes, and one of his best friends is Ryan Carter, as he got. So he plays with them. So it depends on what Ryan does also.
Okay. Yeah.
If Ryan's playing there. So if Ryan's not playing there, then Zach's with us for sure.
Okay.
But hopefully Zach sees he's good enough.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to know, because I honestly didn't know how that process worked. If he is on the Suns in 2021, what are you going to tell your players when you play against him? How do you want them to cover him or go at him?
You can't fall asleep with him, because he's always moving, he's always hustling, he's always going for the loose balls. You rarely call a play for Zach, right? So he just goes to get it. So when you're boxing out, you got to find him. He's a dude that's always moving. He's like a skinny version of Buddha. Buddha never stays. Well, especially on the offensive board. Zach's a beast on the offensive boards, and you always got to watch out for him. You always got to count for him. And the mid-range game, he's automatic. So you got to lock him up. His 3-point shot's not all there, but mid-range, you just put 2 points up.
Absolutely.
So we would guard him and guard him like any other good player. Like he's not going to get a play for him. You don't need to double him, but you need to definitely put a good defender on him.
Absolutely. You brought up Ryan, the mercenary, Ryan Nitz. We were supposed to have him on one of our shows, and life happened and it didn't happen. But there's, he possibly might come back, and if he does, what do you think his role is going to be with the Orcas? Because he's a big dude, but he can move.
Well, Ryan plays the 2-3, so most likely with us he'd be a 3. but he's a pro. You know, he's played pro overseas in Italy and a few other countries, and you know, people sleep on him still that don't know him because he's white, to be honest. You know, but he's a beast. You know, you saw he knocked the dude over and dunked on him. Like he's an athletic dude. And he's similar to Mizzy, you know, Ryan's a little bit bigger, so he got a little bit more ups, but Ryan could shoot, he could defend, he could handle the ball, he could run point guard a little bit. Mm-hmm. He's just a smart player. So, you know, he has a lot of stuff going on life-wise, but if he's willing to commit, he'll be on our team.
Okay, cool. That's what I was asking. George, you saw him for the first time, and Gilbert, you too. You saw him. What did you think, Gilbert, when you saw the mercenary?
Oh man, just seeing him play out there, just the way he carries himself, you could tell he's a family guy because I believe he was there with his wife, his daughter, I think, his girlfriend, right?
No, not him.
But
that's a different one.
No, it wasn't him.
No, it's
well, that's his girlfriend, and
yeah.
Dan, one of his good friends, Dan's wife and 2 kids.
Yeah.
But like that's like Ryan's nephews, kind of. Yeah. That's how close they are.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
So you can tell you can tell he's a family guy. But just seeing the way he plays and the way he carries himself on the court, he's like very professional. And we'll see if we could pick him up next year, man, because man, he looks like an elite player.
Well, you heard Coach. Coach said he's got a spot, so we'll see. George, you saw him as well. What do you think about the mercenary?
Yeah, like Coach said, like he's a very smart player. Like he plays a little bit of point guard a little bit. The way he plays like a shooting guard because he could score the ball, and not only that, like he has hops too. Like I remember, like I saw at last game where he caught a lob from Hezzy God. And the Hezzy God, he has some good playmaking ability, and for those two to be on the same team, like I think they're a pretty dangerous team to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
So I love the way he plays, and then like what GA said, he's a very great family man.
Yeah, and you can see that on his Instagram too. Like Coach said, he's got stuff going on, but you can tell, you know, he loves his girlfriend and his family because you see a lot of that stuff. But that doesn't mean nothing on the court. Right? You go to the court and you're a warrior, you're a beast, you know, you do what you got to do. So what about Mark? Okay, we saw Mark came out of nowhere. I'm just sitting on the other side of the court waiting to interview, I think it was Measy. And Mark's there in his streets. And I'm like, bro, like, what's going on? And in the interview, he's like, oh, I came late to the party. Coach, how does this whole I can pick anybody I want at any time I want thing work for the VBL? Because he's like, oh, I'll get a team. Don't worry about it. I'll find a team. How does that work? We froze. There you go. We're good. How does that work, Coach? Like,
like I said, it's Lucy there. Yeah, it's kind of as long as you don't have, if you have a roster spot, you can pick up players. You know, so for players on the other teams last week, we could pick them up. So it goes from week to week. There's really not, you know, as long as you don't play with a different team the same day, you're good to go. You know, you know, Mark is well known in the VBL. He got you know, he was runner up for MVP his first year, the year he played with Buddha, the Chinese elite. Last year he couldn't make all our games. He played with us, and you know, he did his thing when he was there. But so everybody knows him. You know, he killed it. JC ball this past year, you know, 1,000-point scorer.
Yep.
So yeah, he's playing. He's a scorer out there. So, and he doesn't back down from anybody. So he was a good pickup for Mizzy.
Yeah, Doctor.
And he's likable. I mean,
he's very likable. Yeah, he's like a big kid.
He's going to be in sports, entertainment somewhat when he's done playing basketball. He's going to take Ricky's job later.
Now Buddha and Mark are stealing my job. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Then he won't be as likable.
No, absolutely
Hey, you threw low-key shade, Don. You some shade. I didn't know you had that in your arsenal.
That just means Ricky would move up and he'd be managing and stuff.
Well played. Yeah. Nice cover.
Great comeback, Doc.
Appreciate
Coach.
that. Who else?
You're very confused today, George. You keep calling people the wrong name. I don't know what's going on with you. Did you stay
That's
up
why
too
they're
late
next
last
to each other.
night? What
I
happened?
had a long week.
Did you eat too much gluten? Oh, you had a long week because you were trying so hard to edit that video.
Oh,
and
there it is. Yes.
That's what happened.
Yes.
Well, that and then I had 2 other videos I was putting up as well.
Okay.
Right,
By the
right,
way,
Double
nice
R?
job, George. Videos
Yeah,
turned
that
out
actually
great, man.
did. With all seriousness, your videos came out awesome.
Good job,
Yeah.
George.
Monkey Doc viral, so that's always good.
I always want to go like this, but I have to remember like that means something different than what
Yeah,
it
in
meant when
other
I was
places.
a kid. So I wanted to say that, but I'm
Yeah,
not gonna do that.
can't. That's so funny because anything.
good job.
Is, yeah.
Appreciate
Let's see.
it.
We talked. Who else did we not talk about? Let's see. We talked about Drewski. We talked about Flash to an extent. Mark, Measy, Zach made it to the final. We watched the championship. George, do you want to talk about the championship and the fact that we couldn't even see it because it started to get really dark, but people still.
I want
Yeah,
to talk about it.
It was crazy.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Oh.
George.
okay, so yeah, so it was a pretty good game. Pretty well fought game. Like lasted for so long.
Oh my
I could
God, yeah.
barely see anybody because it was like I'm watching like a silhouette through my camera.
Our phones.
So,
remember the
yeah.
phones?
Yeah, yeah, and then I had to go closer to the court to see what's going on, and then like everybody kept on flashing like their phone lights and everything.
They told us
That-
to.
Yeah, I know, but that didn't even really do any
I know.
justice. So like then like the only type of light that we had was like some dude started like a bonfire in the back.
It
Remember
was
that?
a
Ricky?
big fire.
It was a
Holy
big bonfire just to light up like what's going on the court.
Mhm.
But
That's so funny.
Yeah.
but yeah, and in all seriousness, it was a pretty good game, and 3 of my batteries just went to 0, so I couldn't record anymore. So
You
I
got
couldn't
most
take
of
any
it,
more
though.
pictures after that. Yeah,
And
I
like
got
I
most
said,
of it, so I was prepared.
Zach was in the finals. I was ready to run over there. I wanted to get that championship interview.
Mhm.
And then Sunblock, man, they just pulled it out at the end. Now that team was crazy. And they had that huge injury too.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
Big injury, which was crazy because he was talking mad smack the game before.
It looked like he hurt his knee.
Yeah, he like landed straight on his knee.
Yeah, here I talked to AJ afterwards, and
Okay.
he hurt the same knee late last year.
Mm-hmm.
But he's bummed about it. But AJ's a funny dude. He's an amazing player, but he trash talks, but no one can get mad at him because of his voice. I don't know if he has like a girly voice, and you no matter what he says, you gotta laugh at it. And
I heard it.
You know,
he's a dude that should be getting paid mad money to play overseas.
Mm-hmm.
He's that dude that just wants to play local.
Okay. So it's all in the heart.
Got that Chris Tucker voice.
Pretty much. And the size. Pretty much. George, you had something.
no, I was gonna say like going to Coach's point. That dude, like, you know, he reminds me of like Kevin Garnett, because you know how Kevin Garnett would be trash talking people and like he would be laughing, and then like, you know, that's who he reminds me of, like in terms of trash talking.
No, that's a good point, because AJ's a better player when he's trash talking. You know, like he can't, when he's quiet, he's not going to do much. So, you know, when he's a quiet, you could go right at him. But when he starts talking, you got to watch out.
Yeah. I mean, I have no problem with trash talk as long as it's not, you know, like cussing at everybody and you can back it up. You can't back it up. You shouldn't be trash talking. Or if one thing that bothers the crap out of me, regardless if it's basketball, baseball, hockey, I don't care. If you're getting your butt kicked in the game, don't trash talk because you hit a home run. Don't trash talk because you scored a goal, you know, something like that. You're down by like 30 and you score a touchdown. Whoop-de-frickin' do, bro. Like, your team's getting their butts kicked. I'm sorry. I'm like George was the other week, but I get really passionate about that. I was a catcher,
Ranting.
and I was a catcher in baseball, and I'd have people like they hit a home run, come back, and they're just smack talking me. I'm like, bro, you're down by 10. It's the last inning. Go away. Like, what are you doing? You know? So,
Yeah.
you're a street baller. What do you think about like people who trash talk when they're getting their butts kicked?
I mean, like you said, don't trash talk if you can't back it up. What's the whole point of trash talking if you guys are losing? You know what I mean? At least come back and win the game if you're gonna be talking trash. But
I'm just
that's the way
saying.
I see
Sorry,
it,
I went
man.
off subject, but yeah, no, it's true. So we got a couple minutes left. Going into tomorrow, what players do we have coming, including our very own Doc? What players do we have coming tomorrow, Coach?
It's pretty much the same squad. There's going to be one replacement. We're bringing on a big that Adam got. I don't know who he is. He played actually with Melo's squad in Madrid this past year.
Oh, cool.
He's going to help us out along with Buddha. Buddha's taking Josiah's spot,
Okay.
and then just taking Donnelly's spot. So
Okay.
we got Percy, Yuri, Drew, Adam, Buddha, and Oliver, who I really love. If he's in this country, he's going to be in Orca now. So maybe we can get him on. Oliver, he was the big dude that was battling. I loved his game. That was the time I saw him in person play. And I can't wait to see him play with Buddha.
Yeah.
And
It's gonna be exciting.
so I won't be there, unfortunately, but Buddha, Adam, and Drew are going to run the team, and I have no doubt that they'll run it the way it's supposed to.
See, Buddha's coaching again. That's 2 weeks in a row. It's a sign. I'm telling you.
Future coaches, right?
Yeah.
Like
Doc,
I
you gotta
said,
listen to your
he
coach.
will be a good coach. He will be a coach. I don't care. He can tell me 5,000 times he's not a coach. He will be a coach.
Yeah. I
He
gotta-
is a coach.
So,
He is a
Doc,
coach.
before we cut off, Doc, you were in that huddle what Buddha was, conducting. What did he say? Like, how did he conduct that huddle?
I don't remember what he said, but
He
it was
looked
just
like-
Buddha being Buddha.
Okay.
But you have to remember, I played with Buddha in the loot, and so this was
I've
how
seen
Buddha was, So it was just Buddha being Buddha. He's just being a leader. He's just trying to
Motivate.
rally everybody. Like that's what he's doing.
Mhm.
But I do want to say before we log off that just wanted to give big props to my girl, baby V, Victoria Mazio, because she was on sunblock, and
yeah.
I was really proud of her for winning that. And also Juice Hunnit, he led that team. He got the MVP.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was really cool too. So
Yeah. Shout out to all the women that were playing. You guys were all
Mhm.
beasting. It was awesome.
Uh-huh.
I loved it. Coach,
It
you
was
had
what,
your-
6th grade?
Yeah, I was only going to say the Buddha is the only person that I allowed to take over the huddle
Mhm.
because, I know he's going to say what's supposed to be said.
Yeah.
And he has everybody respect because he backs it up.
Mhm.
He's not going to tell someone to play hard because, he's playing hard. So he could tell people that. People that aren't playing hard can't tell anybody nothing.
Mhm.
But it was cool, bringing up Juice. Juice is a beast. Like, he's a dude that just gets buckets
Yeah.
off the court. Skip, he was talking trash and Juice shut him up.
Yep. And he's just so quiet. He's so stoic, and he just does what he does, and that's
The
it.
tree legend was talking trash, and all he could do was like, "Hey, good shot."
And he's so nice. Like, he's really a nice guy. Like, he really is. So I like those people.
Yeah, like we said, I mean, people can be super nice off the court, but once your foot hits that court, it's a whole different ballgame. It's a whole different world, So going into tomorrow, Coach, can you tell our viewers where are we going? What do we got to do to go and check out our boys tomorrow and our awesome ladies?
We'll be playing. Our first game's at 10. We're the second game of the day, but it's in Long Beach, 1 Junipero Avenue. So yeah, just be out there, support the guys, support what they got going on, be safe. A lot of things going crazy, but at least they're going to be able to hoop, and they're going to enforce the COVID testing, so we'll see how it goes.
It's going to be crazy. And if you're down there, feel free to come say hi to any one of your Orcas media members. Want to meet the players, let me know. We'll wait till game time's over, of course. Introduce you guys. So come down. We want to get that fan base going and do whatever we can. If you guys don't have anything else, I'm about ready to sign out. I know y'all got got lives to live. You know, we got the Thanksgiving break coming up next week. I would like to have a show on Saturday if you guys are okay with that. If you're all not too stuffed up on turkey and stuff, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, honestly, from my own personal standpoint, I've never been to a VBL before. I would love to go again. My 9-year-old loved it, and he's not even a big sports guy. You know, he loved the fact that the kids were able to go to the hoop bus, you know, and that thing was super cool. You know, it is family friendly, and if you can get down there, definitely come down, check it out, come support Doc, come support the team, come, you know, and just have a good time. People need to get out and have a good time, but be smart about it. And that's all I can say. You know, so if anybody else doesn't have anything, we're all good. Doc, we're good.
Good.
Coach, George.
Good. Shout
All
out to
right.
everyone
So with that
played.
said, I want to thank you all for joining us. This was Dubl Drbl episode 25, back at the beach, the VBL special. On behalf of myself, Double R. Ricky Rodriguez, conspicuous by his absence because I don't know where he just went. Gilbert A. Placencio is out of here. We got my dude George, we got the Doc, and we got Coach. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll check you next week. Go Orcas.
Orcas.
Orcas.